It is in the interest of every cell that the whole body is in good working order. That makes every cell a stakeholder. The battle with obesity is led by certain stakeholders. When grouped together, they form one major stakeholder. I have identified 6 such major stakeholders. We all have them, and they are fascinating. You would not associate some or maybe all with losing weight, so brace yourselves. We will now meet the 6 major stakeholders. As I said before, you would never associate some or maybe all of the major stakeholders with losing weight. This is the time to keep an open mind. Major stakeholder number 1. The mastication muscles. Mastication is another name for chewing and is the first step of the mechanical digestion process. The mastication muscles are responsible for the chewing movement. We will not bore you with the names of the individual muscles. We have 4 on each side, a total of 8 mastication muscles. The mastication muscles are the muscles that don't get attention. Very underrated when it comes to weight loss and weight management in general. You can do a search on the mastication muscles, but just to quickly show where they are. The first mastication muscle is a superficial muscle located at the angle of the jaw. The second mastication muscle is also a superficial muscle located in front of the ear and somewhat fans upwards on the side of the head. The third and fourth mastication muscles are deep muscles. Do you know which is the most powerful muscle in the human body? The most powerful muscle in the human body is the masseter muscle, the first mastication muscle. Why do we have the most powerful muscle in the human body involved in mastication? Reflect on it. Among all the various muscle groups, the so-called fat-burning muscles, I believe the mastication muscles have absolute supremacy when it comes to ridding yourself of obesity. The second major stakeholder are the teeth. To point out the obvious, teeth are only found in the mouth and nowhere else in the body. Hence, whatever needs to be crushed and grinded, it can only be done in the mouth. The teeth are simply always in the right place at the right time. The exact site of crushing and grinding of food is between the grinding surfaces of the upper and lower molars and premolars. Major stakeholder number 3 are the salivary glands. Of all the digestive juices, saliva is the first digestive juice to be secreted into the alimentary canal by the salivary glands. And the place of secretion is the mouth and nowhere else in the human body. We have 3 major pairs of salivary glands, or 6 salivary glands, in our mouth, plus hundreds of small salivary ducts. By design and purpose, the salivary glands produce and secrete saliva with every contraction and relaxation of the mastication muscles, or simply keeping the mouth open. The more we open and close our mouth or chew, the more saliva is produced and secreted. A quick side view to show the 3 salivary glands on each side. Major stakeholder number 4 is the tongue. You would never associate the tongue with losing weight, let alone ridding yourself of obesity. The tongue mixes the mouth bolus with the first digestive juice, saliva. If it wasn't for the tongue, we would be creatures that had to rely on moving our heads left, right, back and forth to mix the food with saliva. The next time you chew, and for the entire meal, pay attention to the direction of the tip of the tongue. It is non-stop action. I can't think of another muscle so agile. Major stakeholder number 5 are the lymph vessels. They are present in every tissue of the body, with the exception of the human brain, bone marrow, spinal cord, eyeballs, cartilage, and the inner ear. Lymph vessels make up a large component of the lymphatic system. Waste products and toxins released by cells end up in the interstitial tissue and then picked up by the lymph vessels. Lymph fluid is the medium in the lymph vessels. The network of lymph vessels is the reason the lymphatic system is given the nickname of the body's sewage system. This network is enormous. Just like at home, garbage and waste is collected and disposed through a sewage system. Major stakeholder number 6, the intestinal villi. What you see is the intestinal villi. Intestinal villi are tiny finger-like projections that line the entire length of the small intestine. Your intestinal villi absorb nutrients from the incoming chyme. The sight is absolutely breathtaking. The small intestine is a continuation of the stomach and ends at the opening of the large intestine. Anatomically divided into 3 parts, don't worry about the names. In an average adult human, a fully stretched out small intestine is approximately 6 meters in length, or 19.5 feet. It is common knowledge that the intestinal villi, or the small intestine, is where all the absorption takes place. Dealt with the correct instruction, you can eat anything in any amount and your intestinal villi will only absorb the nutrients and amounts that your body requires and reject everything else.